So you were saying that you haven't been able to obviously feel the effects because you're home and you haven't really, you haven't been outside at all. But are you like excited to meet viewers of the show? Or are you kind of anxious with all this newfound fame? How are you feeling about all of that?
It doesn't really make me nervous. I feel like I was kind of a little bit in this world. Like, I have a lot of friends who get a lot of attention, and I had like a little bit, not like as it is now, but I had like a little bit of attention before the show came out. So I feel like I'm kind of like more used to it. But yeah, I was at the park the other day walking my dog, and this like little group of like younger girls like came up to me, and they were like crying and freaking out and like screaming. And it was just like, it's more flattering than anything, because like that's so cute. Like, you don't really realize like how much of effect you have on people, especially like, I didn't know that it was going to be come across as positive. Like, I did not think that everyone was going to be like Team Frankie, you know what I mean? So it's just been like overwhelming, but in like a very nice way, like not in like a, I don't know how to describe it. Oh, my dog.
Well, were you concerned at all about the reception? Because obviously when did you film the show?
April 2019.
Okay, so you filmed it about a year ago.
Yeah,
you knew what was in it. Maybe didn't know how it would be edited, but like you knew what you did and what could be on air. And then it came out a year later. So were you nervous at all for how people would respond to you in the show?
Yeah, so definitely like after filming, it didn't really hit you until a few months later that like, okay, you're like, okay, you kind of like have like nightmares about how you're going to be portrayed. And of course, living in the house, I wasn't everyone's favorite. So I thought that when the show came out that I was going to be the villain. I was prepared to be like the Carol Baskin, like literally. Like, I'm like, okay, like everyone's going to hate me. Like, it's fine. Because I knew what I did when I was there, and I knew like the good and the bad things that I did. But out of everyone on the retreat, minus Haley, I was kind of the only one who did things that were controversial. You know what I mean? Like, Harry lied to me, and that was kind of, but I didn't know that that was going to be as big as it was when, like, in that episode either. So I was like, okay, like, who else could be portrayed negatively? And I was like, it's only going to be me, because I was the only person who did like controversial things as well as Haley. So I was like, I was nervous, but it's been way more positive than I was expecting. Like, I get maybe like one bad comment out of every like 200 bad comments, which is like the most crazy part.
Yeah. Is there anything that you did on the show that you regret? Like when you watched it back, were you like, ooh, like I wish I didn't do that?
Yeah, so many things. So many things. Oh my God. Like, obviously I said some things like when I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go killing on Instagram. I was like, why did I say that? But like, you're there for an entire month. So in that month, like no one's perfect. Like, you say some weird things sometimes. So that I wish I didn't say. Like, when I called Chloe the C word, I don't even use the C word in my vocabulary. I don't even know why I said it. That was cringy. And the dates got very, very flirty. And like, we were very, very limited on alcohol consumption. But on the dates, we would get like, on Corey's date, I got a bottle of Patron, and on Kel's date, I got some champagne. So Tipsy Me is just very flirty. And I didn't realize how flirty I was until I watched it back. So I was like, did I say that? Like, did I do that? Like, oh my God, like, I need to tone it down. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, it was really embarrassing to watch stuff like that back. But I had Harry, who was on my side, and he was like, it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. Like, he didn't take anything seriously, and he like didn't get upset about it. So that was reassuring. But yeah, just like stuff like that. Like, I was just like really flirty. And of course, like, there was some money lost that I was like, okay, I didn't need to do that either. But, you know,
well,
I was just being myself. So
yeah, and I think people have obviously responded positively to your authenticity, which is, I would imagine, why the response has been so Team Frankie. But obviously you and no one else knew what the show protocol would be. Like, you didn't know that you were going to get there and it was going to be no sex or else you lose money. But what were you told? Like, when you applied to be cast, what was kind of the premise? Because obviously you knew it was a reality dating show.
yeah.
What else were you told?
So up until Mexico, so before I even flew there, I really didn't know. Like, I thought it was going to be just like a new concept. So my theory was that it was going to be Influencer Island. So I was like, okay, they're getting a bunch of influencers,
Mhm.
they're putting us on an island, and they're taking away our technology, and they're going to make us do all this crazy stuff. That's what I thought. That was like, okay, like I'm ready for this. Like, let's do this. It's
Mhm.
going to be so much fun. And then, kind of closer to right before we left, when I found out I needed to be single, I was like, okay, maybe this is dating, or maybe they just don't want people in a relationship on the show. And then, so when we were signing the contracts, like 3 days before filming, like 3 days before we went on the retreat, the contract said something about a prize, and it said something about it was called UDS, so Untitled Dating Show. So then I was like, okay, it's a dating show with a prize, but I still had no idea. So the first few days when we were in the retreat, before the rules got dropped, we were all like, okay, this is great, but like, why are we
What's
here? Like
right?
yeah, like what's we didn't know like if we were gonna needed to couple up or if we had no idea. So
So in the casting, was there anything said about sex? Like, was there anything like you have to be comfortable with hooking up on screen, or you have to be comfortable with showing your sexuality? Anything along those lines?
no, it was more like so for me, I was casted very, very quick. I know a lot of people knew that they were going to be on it for like months and months prior, but mine was only a few weeks. So the questions that I was being asked were just very like dating and sexual orientated question, like, oh, like how do you feel about one night stands? Like, how many ex boyfriends do you have? Like, tell us some crazy stories about stuff you've done with guys or boyfriends, stuff like that. So it was very like dating orientated questions,
Mm-hmm.
but they never asked like, "Oh, are you cool with having sex on camera?" or anything like that. I feel like if once you're applying to be in this situation and going through the process of auditioning, you kind of just you know what you're signing up for and you know how reality TV is and you have to be very open to put yourself out there because like it takes like a special kind of person to be able to like go on that show or a show and really be themselves, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because it
Yeah.
is pressure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And what
Yeah.
about, I mean, I think in the first episode it says like we got the hottest people together. um,
Yeah.
were there, I mean, obviously, I don't know if you went in for a casting call or it was a video. I imagine they saw you in some way, but did they explain kind of physically how they were casting people, or you had no idea what other sorts of people would be on the show?
No, I knew. So when we were filming, like, you know, the beginning parts where I was like, when we were talking about ourselves at the very, very, very beginning, when we were in that little room, lit up room, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone was saying stuff about themselves. So that day when we were moving around the hotel, not trying to not bump into the other cast members, the floor producers were like, "Oh my God, you should be so excited! Like the guys are so attractive, like la la la." That's when I found out. Okay, so everyone's really hot. Is
Mm-hmm.
when. So I didn't know. Like I was assuming and kind of hoping that the guys were going to be really hot, and I assumed that the girls were going to be really pretty as well. But I wasn't really told it until like 2 days before the retreat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think about? There has been some criticism that the show is kind of like going back in time with obviously there's been so much body positivity out there in media, and
Yeah.
there's been criticism like everyone is hot and it's very focused on looks.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I mean, it's not, the show's diverse, but it's not really diverse in terms
No.
of
Yeah.
body type.
Yeah. I feel like it was kind of like that type of show. Like I know The Circle, Netflix, and a little bit Love is Blind as well, kind of had more of like a mix of people, but I think our show was targeted on getting hot, horny, single people. I think that was the
Mm-hmm.
target. So I think that's what they were going for when they cast it. I really haven't thought about this, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think there could have been a more variety on the cast for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, you said that some things, like your parents, have been like, ooh, and you're like, don't watch that.
Hmm.
What was that like, though, having your parents watch it? Obviously, you're very comfortable with showing your sexuality on screen. But
Hmm.
also, I think with all kind of reality shows, dating shows, you're in this setting
Hmm.
where you're not thinking millions of people are going to watch this.
Hmm.
So, from
Hmm.
that perspective, when you watch back, where you like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that everybody now can see this.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's weird. I feel like I've detached myself from it. Like, I think sometimes, like, okay, like, everyone saw me. go under the covers. I'm like, that's kind of weird. But I mean, my close friends and my close family, like they know who I am and they know like my personality and stuff like that. And they just know that I'm like a sexual person. So no one said anything negative to me that's related to me or that's friends with me. They've all been like, we're so proud of you. Like, you look so beautiful. Like, you did such a good job. It's been very positive. Like, I want someone to say something negative to me. Like, I want my mom to be like, you're stupid. But I mean, she said the other day, she was like, I'm so proud of you, even though you gave up on TV. I was like, oh. But like, my
Like,
parents are
thanks,
super
mom.
chill. Like, yeah, like growing up, they were so strict. But now, like, I don't know, like they're being surprisingly chill with the whole situation. Like I haven't gotten one bad comment. It's like
Well, what
shocking.
about comments online though? Have you experienced any slut shaming or anything like that?
Like I saw some stuff on Facebook that was sent to me about like my lips, but no, like I really don't like go into anything negative. I don't read any articles. I don't like I go through the comments on my post because I like to respond and like read the nice things. And maybe every 100 there's like a bad one that's saying like it's usually just about my physical appearance. It's not usually slut shaming, which is weird because you think it would be, but it's not. So I don't know. I mean, they're probably out there. I just like, I really, really, really avoid negativity because you
Yeah.
can just get into a downward rabbit hole of like looking about bad stuff about you and just it makes you feel awful. Like people are going to have a negative opinion about you no matter what. So kind of just
Yeah.
have to
Well,
like not let it bother you.
I mean, obviously, I'm glad that you have not encountered that. And I have to say, like you said, in a way, it is kind of surprising, but also that can mean that obviously there's been so much progress with programming in general. And I think one of the biggest conversations of the past like 5-10 years has been equality between men and women and why can't women show their sexuality too.
Yeah.
And I feel like for all the people who might be critiquing Too Hot to Handle and saying it shows so much and blah blah blah, there's also a really good argument to be made for owning your sexuality and female empowerment. So I was wondering what you think about that. Obviously, this is a fun dating show and we don't want to get too serious, but when millions of people are watching, I think it's an important conversation to bring up.
Yeah. So, I don't know if anyone follows Emma Ratajkowski. So her whole message about like women empowerment and about being sexual and you can be sexual and you can be intelligent, like really resonates with me because everything regarding that message is definitely what I stand for. Like, and I think there's definitely been a lot of progress made because I haven't been really slut shamed at all. Like, I think I don't even think I've seen one message. So it definitely, we have come a long way and yeah. It's like great progress for sure.
Yeah. So before I let you go, I know we're in quarantine and you can't even see Harry. So this might be way too far off, but knowing you're not technically engaged, but you're going to be engaged, have you guys talked at all about wedding planning? I know that I think a few days ago, Harry posted like, where should the wedding be on his Instagram?
Yeah. We like, of course, have like ideas in our heads, but right now I think we're just focused on like the immediate future and like getting through this quarantine together. Like all I want is to like make it through this next little while and come out of it because it would be like, I don't know, it's hard to say. Like I think we're not focusing on wedding stuff. We're just focusing on like keeping us like together and strong because it is really hard. Like if any other couples are in quarantine, it's hard to go months and months and months without seeing the person that you love the most. So
yeah. So I know the answers to this, but there are some comments that people are asking, have you guys met each other's parents? So do you kind of want to just go through that, like since the show ended, what kind of the journey was of your relationship up till what we just saw in the reunion?
yeah, so he came to Vancouver and met all my friends here, and then we flew to Ontario, which is where my parents live, and he met my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, my nonna, who's my grandma. So he met the whole family. I threw a house party, and we went to like my favorite bar, and he met my entire friend group, and he was like very well, like he just like weaved into it. Like my friends loved him, and it was amazing. And then I think 2 weeks later, I flew to Australia and I met his mom. I stayed with her for a few weeks, and that was great. And then after that, we stayed together for a bit, but there was a lot going on in his personal life, and it's hard because we just kind of knew like each other on the show, and we knew the little fantasy of him being here and me being there was like so great, and there was like no like real world drama. So when we were separated again and got back to the real world, it was hard to like figure out how to weave together. And also we didn't really have time to go through and process the show separately. Like it was a crazy month, and it's something that you really need to like independently process by yourself to really kind of just like take it all in, because it was like a really, really, really insane experience. So we took a break between like September, and we started talking again on New Year's. Mm-hmm. And then when we got back together, it was just amazing, and it was like we never broke up and stuff like that. And then now we're still great. Like I love him with my entire being. Like all I want to do is spend the rest of my life with him. But of course, he's there, I'm here. We don't know how much longer. Like I'm hearing news articles about 12 months, and we're like, okay, like 12 months. What, like if there's a travel ban for 12 months, but like we don't know what to do. And like I have business in the States, so I'm gonna try to go, you know what I mean? So we're just gonna try and like figure out that next move. Like of course, if I could move to LA and marry him tomorrow, I would.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I know you and a lot of other people are feeling the same way, and whether it's a relationship or just your friends or your family, everyone is obviously, it's our new normal, and it's crazy, and everyone is really longing for that human interaction and to see everyone. So for many, many reasons, mostly the health and safety of our world, I hope that you and Harry get to see each other sooner than later. But I'm glad for, you know, Instagram and Zoom and all those things that you guys can keep in touch. But
exactly.
Yeah, but thank you so much for taking the time to chat, and thanks for putting it all out there for the show. And I know, obviously, as you said, the positivity and the reception to it has been so huge, and I think has been just an amazing source of entertainment for so many people throughout the quarantine. Great. So I wish you all the best. Best of luck. Stay happy.
You're so sweet. Healthy. I really enjoyed this. Thank you. You as well.
Me too. And thanks everyone for bearing with us with the sound issues too.
Yeah, of course. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.